Hello everyone, good to see you again. English lesson for grade 7, produced by Oromia Education Bureau in collaboration with UNICEF and OBN. Lesson topic, Conditional Type 2 or Unreal or Unlikely Conditions. Prepared by Gaby Misha. Edited by Tariku Shumi. Presented by Gaby Misha. Lesson 4. Unreal or Unlikely Conditional Sentence Type 2. Lesson objective: to express unlikely conditions and its results appropriately. Do you know condition or situation that can be real or true or possible? Do you also know conditions that are not possible, that are not real? Today we talk about one of the 3 conditional sentence types. Not impossible condition, not real condition, but unreal or unlikely or imaginary conditions. In other words, when we use if, we are expressing conditions. Today, we look at a scenario or situation. Look at the underlined words in these sentences. 1. I cannot buy a car because I don't think I can win lottery. It doesn't seem to happen. If I won lottery, I would buy a car. Or changing the position of the result clause and if clause, reversing, we can begin with the result clause. I would buy a car if I won lottery. Look at the comma after the if clause. Look at the lines showing the interchanging positions of if and result clauses. Let's have a look at another example. Example 2. You do not take note. If I were you, I would take note now, but I cannot be you. I am already myself. So I cannot take note. It doesn't seem to be possible. That's why we use simple past in the if clause and also would with verb 1 in the result clause. Look, I would take note now if I were you. Not if I am you, not if I was you, if I were you. This is exceptional rule for if clauses when conditions are not real, when they are not true, when they don't seem to happen. Another example, reversing the position of if clause. If I were you, I would take note. I would take note if I were you. It's the same in meaning, but different in position. But pay attention to the underlined words. Would take, and if I were. Let's have a look at more examples. Dear students, listen and look at the following scenarios or situations, paying attention to verb tenses and meaning of conditional to sentences. This is another situation, or there are 3 situations actually here. 1. Gada has a good ability, but he does not study, so he will not pass the exam. if Gada studied, he would pass the exam. A second situation. Marga is poor and lazy. He does not work hard. If he worked hard, he would be rich. If he worked hard, he would be rich. Look at the third scenario. You always come late to classes. You are not allowed to enter. Because of this, you often miss classes. This situation can be said or stated shortly with if clause like this. If I were you, I would not be late and miss classes. If I were you, I would not be late and miss classes. Or if we reverse the position, we can say, I would not be late and miss classes if I were you. Still remember the comma, where we begin with if clause. No comma, where we finish with if clause. Let's do more practice. Before practice, let me explain more about the structure or the sentence form. There's one more scenario before I do that. Excuse me. Tufa, you listen to the teacher attentively, but you do not take notes. My fear is you will forget it by the time you take exam next week. This situation or scenario can be stated shortly using if clause like this. Look at the tense in both if clause and result clause. If I were you, comma, I would take notes. Or I would take notes if I were you. This is not like the usual tense format. It is a different rule for if clauses or conditions, because conditions may be real, may be impossible, may be unlikely, or may be real. Only for real we use present tense. But for unreal we use simple past, and for the impossible, past perfect. You remember. Okay. The form if with simple past verbs, and the result with would and verb one or first form or present form of the verb has been seen in your examples, in the scenarios or in the situations explained. The if clause or condition is in simple past, where its result is also in simple past, even if the time is present or future. Time is different, tense is different. You still remember that. Remember the comma also. With this rule in mind, you can remember and control your conditional sentences if they are imaginary or unreal or unlikely, does not seem to happen. Okay, let's choose the correct meaning of the following sentences. This time, let's move from form to meaning. The form past tense or past form is over now. Let's think about the meaning, and that is, what does it mean? Example, let me buy a lottery ticket. If I want it, I would buy a car. If I want it, I would buy a car. This really means, A, surely I will win it and I will buy a car? Is this the real meaning for this one? I don't know. B, almost I will not win it, so I will not buy a car. Is this the answer too? I'm not sure. Let's look at C. Surely I will win it, but I will not buy a car. Is this the answer? Which one is the meaning of the conditional sentence above, underlined here? Let me give you 1 or 2 minutes until you answer this. Sentence 2. He does not have 5 birr. If he had 5 birr, he would go by Bajaj. If he had 5 birr, he would go by Bajaj. What does this really mean? A, he has the money, 5 birr, so he will go by Bajaj. B, he has no money or 5 birr, but he will go by Bajaj. C, he has no money and he will not go by Bajaj. Which of the 3 means exactly the same as the unreal condition underlined above in number 2? Let's look at the answer. The answer to number 1, let me buy a lottery ticket. If I won it, I would buy a car. This really exactly means almost I will not win it. I will not win lottery, so I will not buy a car. Both the condition and the result are almost impossible, about 90% impossible, or doesn't seem to happen. Answer to number 2. He does not have 5 birr. If he had 5 birr, he would go by Bajaj. The exact answer to this meaning is C. He has no money. He has no 5 birr. He doesn't have 5 birr, and he will not go by Bajaj. Both the condition and its result are almost untrue, unreal, unlikely, doesn't seem to happen. What we expect to happen is expressed in present conditionals, as you learned last time, probably. But if it is in doubt, in much doubt, that's why we use conditional to or such structure. Now let's move on, more practice at your leisure time at home. Go back to your textbook. I always hope your textbook is your companion. You cannot study without textbook and teacher and friend. Go to page 60 and do exercises A and B. As you do this, take care for your own learning and health. Remember, keeping your hands away from your mouth and nose. Keep 2 meters distance away from others and still work with others. Together, 2 meters apart. See you next time. Thank you.